Just to make it 28-3. Arthur Blank loving it. Up by 25. Toss to White. He's in! What a comeback!
All right, welcome to another episode of the 28-3 podcast. We are still licking our wounds. It's been 6 weeks at this point.
I'm tired of saying that.
I am too. Should we keep sawing wood?
It's chopping wood, and that's a Kirby Smart reference. Dennis Allen tried to pick it up, just like
I
he
don't
tried
think
to say.
Kirby Smart was the first person to say that.
First ever.
Do we need to fact check him? Look this up.
The point is that Dennis Allen tried to pick it up from somebody else, just like he said, show him what's popping. We haven't won
that
since,
was bad.
We haven't
That
won
was
since
bad.
then. It's the curse of what's popping is what's happening right now. The curse of what's popping continues. 6 straight losses for the Saints. I can't even speak.
It is saw wood, by the way.
Well, yeah, no,
It's
you
both.
you
Maybe
actually
Kirby-
saw
maybe Kirby-
wood, but the
expression is saw.
The batter ass saying is when there's a guy, an angry short dude with a visor, say, "Keep chopping wood. I want you to keep chopping that wood."
The guy with the southern swoop.
It's impressive that he can still pull it off at age whatever the hell he is. I mean,
I wouldn't call it
obviously,
impressive, but
I can't. I mean, I'm thinking about
How
doing
old
it
is he?
with all
Probably
of with all
our
of
age.
it's got to be he's
Late
our
40s?
age, yeah.
50s?
It's got to be
Clear.
late 40s.
y'all's age.
Yeah, you're not that far.
Not as
behind,
old as
bro.
the guy who's still in his 30s.
I know we lean into it, but you're not that far.
I got.
You
I got
look older than us.
Shut the no.
There's video now that people can see it.
So yeah,
Might
poll.
be
Okay,
true.
comment if you think I look older than these guys. Like if you think I don't. Challenge.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't think you want the results of this one, pal.
I can take the truth.
He's already given up.
And if it comes out the way you think it might, then maybe we get a
Let's
nice little
put it in the
sponsorship.
Discord. Let's put it in there. Get some
Nice
good
little
debate
sponsorship
going.
from Hims or Keeps or something. Like help us out a little bit here. But who can help you out is the Norton Leatherman Spine Center of Louisville, Kentucky.
This is true.
If you're in Louisville or you want to fly there and you've got some serious orthopedic issues, we know a guy that can help.
I would
is
fly
true.
there and let Paul do the surgery. He's the man.
I mean, look, if you're about to go under the knife and get your the base of your skeleton worked on, I mean, it's probably worth a little Southwest flight from NOLA to Louisville. I don't know if they're direct or not.
There are
but,
worse places to go to get it done.
I mean, you're already spending a shitload for surgery. Just tack on the flight, and there you go.
Yeah.
Happens all the time.
Not that expensive.
Clearly, we'd rather talk about spine surgery than get into what the fuck happened
Well, I think
to the
first,
Saints.
That conversation was more exciting than the game.
It really was.
If
I
you're
had
being
fun.
honest,
I had fun.
though-
I had more fun just now than I did watching the game.
I did too. I
Yeah.
agree with you.
it was horrible watch, but we all said it was going to be a horrible watch. So, there's nothing surprising that happened Sunday.
Just because we weren't surprised,
All three
doesn't
of
mean
us said it
didn't
was
suck.
terrible.
I mean,
I'm looking at what we said. We all said it was going to be terrible.
Well, you know what? Let's
but there's
dive.
the thing. I mean, I wasn't surprised, but it still sucked.
It did.
Right?
It did.
Like,
Let's go ahead and dive into the prediction results and kind of see where we shake out. Let's start off with that. So
Okay. Well, we all said we were going to get our ass kicked. So we all had.
So we all get a point.
I had us scoring 16. Max had us scoring 17. Corey had us scoring 13. We were all a little optimistic there. We did miss a field goal, and we didn't get the garbage TD I think we all thought we would get at the end there. So we were inside the 10, I believe, when the clock ran out. So I think the game went exactly how we all thought. So I'm not too surprised at kind of the outcome. It was what we thought. This was what I've been harping on, and Max has been harping on. I think Corey had a moment of optimism for Rattler, but you've come around
Busted.
completely for this game. You were on board this time.
I was optimistic and hopeful. I'm an optimistic human being, and Rattler had
we
some flashes.
we both were for that first game.
Yeah,
He's been the worst quarterback in the league for the 3 games.
I was optimistic because I
the
figured
worst.
If he had he has been. My optimism was based on the fact that the first 2 games we had Costco employees working for us on the offensive line, and we got a couple of starters back. And I'm thinking, all right, maybe he's physically talented.
We don't need to go into the whole
but we're not going into
we're not going into that again.
I know it's not like we're doing a
the
podcast
point is
or anything, but
well,
it's
no,
like,
but we beat this to this dead horse to death.
Right.
Like
I'm just saying
we all know that we're all in agreement. Rattler is amazingly talented.
I was going to be done in like 2 seconds.
No, you are
now
not
we're going
capable
longer.
of being done unless. Never mind.
He just needed I thought he just needed a little bit of an edge, and clearly that was not the case. Okay. See, that's all I was gonna
Perfect.
say.
No, that was great. That's perfect.
That's literally
try to do that going forward.
In the beginning, we
belong
said 5th round pick. We went through the whole information. He's probably not ready. He's not ready.
He's not ready.
Whether he'll ever be ready is the question, not
Hopefully.
whether.
Look, that's not a knock on a rookie quarterback. He's
It's
just not ready.
Again, but there was a big contingent calling for him to start over
Correct.
Carr.
Correct.
Now we can put that to bed, I hope.
Yeah.
Carr's back next week.
Please, God.
We'll talk about that more next episode, but he's back next week. What does that mean for the rest of the season? I had zero confidence, even with the offensive lineman coming back that we got back, that we would compete in this game.
Yeah.
We did not offensively. We did not compete. He was beyond terrible. Missing wide open. Even the completions were in bad spots. They weren't. It just was not a good quarterbacking game.
Yeah.
Avoided the huge mistake, right, for most of the game, but 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. It was the same theme we've seen without the offensive line. So
I think
I hope we didn't damage him mentally by putting him in a bad spot the first 2 games. This was not a bad spot. He was protected. He did not play well, period. So he needs more time to learn. I think we can.
As we all knew.
There's no debating this anymore.
Yeah.
You can defend it. You can blame it on Kubiak. You can blame it on DA.
it-
It's not true. The kid's not ready yet. So we put that to bed. We hope Carr's back this week coming, and we'll see where we go from there. This game, I think the only thing that was a little surprising is they didn't have more success running the ball than they did.
Yeah.
The QB scramble still got us, as it does every game. He got one huge play.
Wait, you're surprised that the Chargers didn't have more success?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, very surprised Dobbins didn't have a better game. That's the one thing, which lends itself to
Kudos.
the impact of Pete being in
Pete
the game.
Werner, your guy.
Or it lends to the fact that behind Pete is way worse than we thought. You know,
Sure.
No, I think, and I'm going to give you your flowers on this one because you've been ahead of the curve on the whole Pete Werner thing. I think, honestly, he makes that much of a difference. He's a really good – he's our best linebacker right now. I think he's better than DeMario right now.
Yeah. Last year, that was not the
Not
case.
last year.
but
I think this season –
the way they've played.
I think that's
so
easy to
far-
say because DeMario didn't have Pete. What if Pete didn't have DeMario? We don't know that. So,
That's a good point.
And
That's a fair
DeMario
point.
has a hamstring that he's fighting through too.
You know, Max, that's why they call him low-key the best Saints podcaster out
I
there.
know. He's
It's
already
pretty
in
good.
that title.
It's pretty good.
The one thing I'd like to see on the defense, this defensive performance to me was perfectly fine, way better than it's been.
Agree.
You ready for
One
this?
huge play.
A good quarterback, we win that game.
I think so too. The thing that has to stop with this defense is Alante giving up huge plays.
Yeah.
He's very disruptive. He had some very good plays, but this is another game, just like the Tampa game, where just a terrible play.
Dude, the lad touchdown,
right.
he went full Minneapolis Miracle.
100%.
I mean, like,
Can't happen.
If he just stays there, and I'm not saying don't try to contest the pass, but he full on went for a two-handed INT, and I don't know if I screenshotted it. Yeah, I did. I'll try to put this up on the webs, but look how far away from lad he is when he jumps.
Right.
Like
That's what I'm saying. It's a
I don't know if
mental
this
thing.
is there,
Yeah.
but
It's
like he jumped and turned, and when he did, he was like a full 2 yards away from the receiver.
Yeah.
right.
Definitely missed time.
And it
If
just
he
can't
put-
happen
If he just
because
puts a hand up, stays on his body, then he blocks it. you know?
if you're gonna jump like that, you better deflect the ball.
Yeah.
Is all I'm saying. So that's a mistake on his part.
Oh, yeah,
probably.
this one's better.
Yeah. Don't do that. Just tackle him.
Yeah.
You lost the play. Tackle him.
And I'm not saying I could do it, but I'm just saying like you're paid to do it.
You add
you
that
know?
play in with the Godwin play from the Tampa game, and like those plays, he has to get out of his game because he is so disruptive. I think I sent y'all both the clip of most disruptive plays from DBs this year. He's number one in the NFL on the most disruptive tackles for loss, sacks, interceptions, fumbles.
He has to lead DBs in sacks right now, right?
He does.
He does, yeah.
If we could just, like you're saying, channel it all, and get it more focused, he's incredible. But it's just, this is costing.
You can't give up a 70-yard play every
Yeah.
game. You can't. He has to tackle both those guys.
Yeah.
You can give up the 20-yard play. That's okay.
Right.
Just tackle him. You're going to get beat on
Right.
plays and being aggressive and all that. That's fine. Tackle him.
Yeah.
He needs to learn to play the other. Like he's incredible. Play the other way. He's incredible at going downhill. He's proven that.
Right. When you get beat, you got to accept it and you got to make the tackle.
But he's got to be able to prove he can play with his back to the play too.
One thing I text you guys during the game too, because we're talking about DeMario looking like he lost a step. DeMario looked like himself again. He was flying downhill more. And is that Pete being there? Is that him getting healthier? I don't know, but he looked way better to me in that game than he did the previous two. The previous two, he looked slow.
Yeah, mix of both.
I think it's for both of them. It's having the other one there.
Yeah, and they work.
DeMario
Obviously,
improves Pete improves DeMario. It's a synergy.
I think with all the praise DeMario's gotten over the years, and y'all know my fandom for Pete, I think Pete is like one of those super intelligent linebackers. I don't think probably he's quite as talented as DeMario physically, but we always play better when he's in there, and we've given all the credit to Mario over the last few years, rightfully so. I think he is the better player, but Pete is just so strong in there and stable, and them two together is something special.
Agree.
So anytime we've been kind of getting on Pete last year, I think a little bit, I didn't understand it because together the duo is really, really good. Looking at the rest of the defense who played well, Chase Young got a half sack. They reallocated it, by the way, and did give Alante half that sack because we were going back and forth on it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Originally, they gave it to Chase, but then they split it with Alante, and Brzee was in there on that too. That could have gone any way. There were three of them tackling him at the same time.
That's why I said 1/3.
So they both had a half sack. Then Ugo had the big sack, which was a really big play at the time. We were still very much in the game.
Yeah, he played well.
Kalen Saunders had a sack.
Yeah.
So
the defense played fine with the exception of the few big plays they gave up.
Yeah, I would say it's two plays that ring out to me. The Ladd long touchdown, the short one at the end, whatever. Like we were toast at that point. And then the Herbert scramble for 30 whatever yards it was. I don't remember. Let's see.
I think it's clear though. You got to give Pete defensive player of the game.
I'm fine with that.
Especially
because
just imagine if he catches the interception.
He should have.
Yeah, he should have.
Yeah, that was right in his hands. And another dropped interception that could have maybe had an influence on the game. It was probably too late at that point, but if we pick that off and prevent any points there, maybe it makes a swing. And it's an easy pick, let's be honest. It's just like the Honey Badger last week. It's an easy pick.
Yeah.
We have to start making those plays, especially when Rattler's quarterback. If we can't make those gimme plays. We dropped another one in the Tampa game. Who dropped that? Kool-Aid dropped that one right in his hands. Baker threw it right to him. We dropped it again.
Because he tried to.
Yeah. So that's 3 games where we dropped plays that could have drastically influenced the game.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with that too. Kool-Aid played okay. He got smoked on one.
Yeah, I think one of them I rewatched. I thought he was out of position. I don't know if it was the one to Rieger or whoever number 5 was for them. Herbert made a hell of a back shoulder pass.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Kool-Aid was 100% in phase with the receiver the entire way. And it was one of those things, it's classic textbook where the quarterback sees the DB
back
over the receiver. He throws it back shoulder. If the DB's behind the receiver, he puts it over the top. And it was an incredible throw, just as good of a catch. And, you know, sometimes you get beat like that as a cornerback. But the other one was definitely on Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a rookie, but,
Yeah.
you know.
So was that Palmer on that one?
Palmer, yeah.
It
The
was
other
Palmer.
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you take that. That was probably close to a 40, 50-yard play, right? And then you take the Ladd just mistake by Alante. And you can't do this. You can't say, let's take these plays out of the equation.
Can't because they happen.
But without those 2 plays, they held the pass game in check. I'll say until those 2 plays.
Yeah.
Because the Ladd play was the first one that was an explosive play in the passing game, too.
Right.
Like, truly explosive play. And then in the run game, you shut down Dobbins for the most part. You did let Herbert get the 35-plus yard run.
You held their running backs under 100.
Yeah.
You know, which is good for going up against a Jim Harbaugh offense.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, agree.
I
The
thought
thing
that
is-
performance was, like, encouraging because with Pete back, we kind of laughed about it. If Pete comes back and the defense is completely different,
Yeah.
you have to start to admit that Pete is a massive
Look,
part of this team.
I'm not going to lie. I was highly skeptical to think that, look, I mean, I respect Pete's ability. He's one of our best players on defense. I was skeptical about the idea that one linebacker, when you run a 2 linebacker set primarily,
Well, that
could-
makes him more
could-
valuable, really.
could
He's the only one.
actually be make that much of a change in the defense. 'Cause we were so god awful. Y'all know my opinion on that. The last game, I was like, Pete's great and everything. I just don't see how one player out of 11 can make that much of a difference. But whether it was 100% on him or the defense just kind of buckled down, had a good week of practice, I don't know. But this is the defense I was talking about, that this is what it looks like when a defense gets worn down over the course of 4 quarters, right? That defense did everything you could have asked them to do over 3 quarters and really into halfway through the 4th quarter, in my opinion.
It's 25 for 73 for the running backs.
Yeah.
So that's dominant by a defensive front
this
seven.
Defensive performance, I don't blame them for breaking down at the end of the 4th quarter, because our offense in this game was somehow even worse, in my opinion, than they were against the Broncos.
Which is saying something.
Yeah.
And was it?
Well, it shows,
I don't know. The Broncos game was awful, too. We had 3 points until the garbage touchdown.
The offense has been unwatchable the last 2 weeks.
I said it, we posted it on Twitter. Everyone does their takeaways. What did we learn from this game? Because you can't learn a whole lot when you play complete dog shit. But we learned we don't have a backup quarterback.
We don't right now.
We
maybe they mature into that. And people could say, Haener was seeing ghosts in the pocket. It was bad.
We have 2 third-string quarterbacks.
Yes.
We have 2 NFL third-string quarterbacks.
Right.
We do not have a true backup.
And hopefully one of them, hopefully I'm wrong about Haener, and he becomes that, a serviceable backup that you can at least compete in these games. Your starting quarterback goes out, you're hoping to win 1 of 3. If you're being honest with yourself in almost every situation. There's a few situations in the NFL that's different.
If you're a quality team. If you're the Panthers, then no.
Correct. Or you paid for a quality backup.
First one with a backup.
True.
If you paid for a Tyrod Taylor, or you paid for a Joe Flacco, or you paid for and you invested in the backup position, you would maybe hope to hold serve for 3 games. Yeah. Maybe win 2 of them. Generally, you're like, if we can win 1 of these 3, you get to starter back, we see where we're at. We got blown away in all 3. Because of the offense, in my opinion, mostly. Corey thinks the defense the first 2. I get it.
I'm with you. It's mainly on the offense.
I think 2 of those games were winnable for the offense. Tampa and this one.
Yeah.
We got rolled over in Denver. There's no question. Ball controlled the whole game. That wasn't the case for 3 quarters in Tampa to me, and it was there for the offense to win.
Yeah.
And this game was there for the offense to win. The defense got steamrolled by Denver from the jump with the run game. Javonte Williams was 6 yards a clip every time he touched the ball.
I think if Derek Carr starts the Tampa game, we win it. If he starts the Chargers game, we win it. If he starts the Broncos game,
we may have had a chance because we don't know if he could have scored with them. We don't know that. But the defense did not manage that game at all.
Yeah.
They didn't get turnovers. They didn't get stops. They weren't getting anything done.
We saw the average drop back time against Denver. It was less than the amount of time Drew Brees averaged on it before the pass, right? 2.5 seconds, and they were in Rattler's face.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not blaming Rattler solely for the offensive performance. I'm just saying the offense was not good enough.
I think if Carr was in the Denver game, it would have, just the way Denver's defense played and our just mash unit on offensive line, it would have looked a lot like the Chiefs game, where Carr did not have a good game. He was seeing ghosts. He was under duress, missing passes. He did not have a good game in the Chiefs game.
No, he
didn't. We all agreed with that.
He looked.
So I think
the offensive line had a terrible game, just like the Broncos game. Right.
I'm not putting Carr made some bad plays.
If Carr was in the Denver game, it would have looked like the Chiefs game. If he was in the Tampa game, it would have been a much closer game.
That Tampa defense is bad, and an offense that could do anything.
Yeah,
could have won that game.
Yeah,
3
Kirk
turnovers,
Cousins threw for 500
punt return.
yards against them.
Yeah,
correct. Kirk Cousins ate them alive this weekend.
Now, I do think if Pete Werner plays against the Chiefs, I think that defensive performance looks a hell of a lot different because we had no one to deal with Kelsey in that game. And I think Pete actually gives us a puncher's chance. So.
Yeah, and that's part of it. And
well, give us the offense. Let's tally this up, and then we can.
Offense, Taysom for Corey, Olave for me, Max AK.
Yeah, Corey and I say AK.
I'm going to say Olave. I think Olave was wide open the entire game. But whatever. No one scored a fucking touchdown. So, again, I'm at the, who gives a shit, I guess.
I mean, in terms of...
We scored 6 points on offense.
AK had just, to me, he gritted it out. Look, Olave had a good game, too. He caught over 100 yards in passing. First game coming off a concussion. He thought he may have been concussed in this game, came right back and had a productive game. So, like, you got to give your hats off to Olave for gutting it out. I just think AK.
Yeah, I agree.
He
And what was the rule we established? We said if we lose by 20 or more, no one gets MVP, right? We lost by 18, someone gets MVP. It's Kamara.
Okay.
more of a judgment call. You know,
No, I
I'll
mean,
give it to you. If it's 2-1, it's 2-1.
So let's tally it up.
I
So that gives
disagree.
me-
I think the one player that looked dynamic the whole game was Olave. Unfortunately, he's also that actually counted as a catch when he got dislodged.
Yeah.
I didn't think he deserved it to be called a catch, but
I didn't think
it was
so
a
either,
catch.
but hey.
But if Rattler could have just not missed him so many times, that could have been a 200-yard game. That's how open the dude was all game.
So what's our new tally? 8-6-3?
So 1, we're giving it to AK. Corey's to 3.
got another
8,
point.
5.
6 or Pete?
Oh, giving you Pete too. That's right.
But we haven't gone. Did we go over that?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Were you not paying attention?
I'm way more fine with Pete.
I feel like it's more of a general discussion, but you're right. It was Pete.
He had 9 tackles. Since we didn't explicitly say he had 9 tackles, DeMario had 9 tackles. We said who had the sacks. But to see the defense against the run game completely change with him, I'm going to give it to him.
Yeah.
I think it's more of them as a duo than actually just Pete. But them being able to play and they know each other so well after 3 years, I think if they're healthy the rest of the way, I think that's what it's going to look like. I don't think we're going to get
It was
blown
the
away.
shot in the arm that we needed, which
We're
him
saying
coming back.
Yeah, we're saying most valuable player. I mean,
Yeah.
He was the most
his
impactful
value-
of the returns.
his value proved itself by the defensive performance just 1 week apart. I mean,
Correct.
night and day defensive performance.
Even so, I know we gave it to AK, but Olave being back and Pete being back is what really moved the offense. We didn't sustain a running game that game again. We had a great run. We had one great run, and then we averaged 3.5 a carry behind it with AK.
Right.
And it was an awesome run, one of his
To
classic.
be fair,
come on.
though, the Chargers are one of the best defenses in the league.
Yeah,
They're
agree.
the only team to give up. I don't think they've given up 10. No, they've given up 10 points once this year.
They're averaging the best scoring, and I think they have one of the best red zone defenses in terms of touchdown percentage. But I mean, what Olave did, and one of the other reasons I thought AK was so valuable too, is that they gave the rookie quarterback outlets.
Yeah.
On third down or even early downs when like they needed to just get something.
I'm
even a
telling
5-yard
you,
game.
if Carr's in that game,
Oh yeah,
they're
yeah.
eating him up in the pass game because
but
he was wide
again,
open.
Carr
No,
wasn't.
I know. So, but I mean, like AK had 2 of AK's catches were just like a lot of receivers would have had a hard time. You know, dug one off the dirt with his little.
I'm not
fingertips.
debating the two. I'm saying with
Did a,
the most
blindside.
impactful to the offense was Olave being back, and the most impactful for the defense was Pete being back. That's why anything good that happened kind of because those two people came back, and that's what we've been missing the previous game.
Yeah, if you looked at 2 guys that weren't there the last game, then yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And it did change the look. If we had someone who could have gotten the ball, that game would have been way different. AK would have gotten more run.
Yeah.
Because it all would have opened up.
AK probably rushes for 100 yards at that point.
Yes.
And look,
we did not have a quarterback yesterday.
And we talked about
2 days ago.
We talked about the impact of when McCoy went down. You know, he's usually the guy that calls out to the rest of the offensive line, the protections. You know, do a shift here. I don't know the exact offensive line terminology, but it's, you know, telling the offensive line, like, you know, let's lean more towards the right on this side or whatever. And then when he went down, it's like, okay, well, Carr's an 11-year vet. He can call out protections. You got neither of those, right? So without either of those, you're totally screwed in terms of like, you know, you're just running the plays that are called at that point.
But you would agree, this offensive line did his job this game, in my opinion. Rattler held the ball way too long, a lot of inaccurate throws.
Yeah.
This was a quarterback poor performance.
Yeah, the sacks that they had weren't the same types of sacks you saw
2 weeks
with
before.
the Broncos or the Chiefs or the Eagles. You know, it wasn't just
Getting Ruiz
maybe
back
one
made
or-
a big difference too. These players we've been. This
Ruiz
is back
got
to what we
burned on
said.
like one play, but that was
Ruiz
really
and Patrick.
And Patrick,
Yeah.
this is what we were saying, and we were texting about it today. Is this all DA's fault? No. This does not mean we all don't think DA needs to be gone, but this roster that we were putting out the 3 weeks prior is simply
Loomis.
not good enough to win
god-awful.
NFL games against decent teams, even decent teams. It's not.
If you said gun to the head, Loomis or DA, who's more to blame?
Loomis.
You have to go. I
Loomis.
think you have to go Loomis. Doesn't mean
I've been saying the whole time I think it's Loomis.
Now that doesn't mean that DA.
If you told
has
me we could only
been-
fire one, for me, I'd pick Loomis.
Right. And now that statement doesn't mean that we think DA is an NFL quality head coach.
He is not.
Yeah,
He
if
is
we can
not.
only fire one, I'm firing DA.
Not me, because we've got to end this. The new guy's going to come in, and DA's fired the next year.
Yeah.
The guy we've got to get out is the guy who's been in it too long, 25 years.
The problem is he's never getting fired. He has to get promoted.
That's fine. He can
out.
he can have a permanent job with the Saints. I have
And he
nothing
does.
against the
He
guy.
already has it. It's called GM.
He is not a good GM anymore. Okay, in
No,
in
look,
my
we know,
opinion,
we know.
But here's the thing: I don't even we've talked about this where there's the idea that he could retire or go up into the executive suite.
he's too young to retire.
but-
So
Even if he
As
did,
a GM, he's almost 70.
listen, how
Like to be
much?
doing
Loomis is 70.
He's close to it.
He's not young,
67, 68.
Is he really? I thought he was
he's
younger
not
than
young.
that. My bad. We'll look.
but
at it.
how good do you feel, or how much do you trust that he's really not going to have a say in anything if he's still in that building? I want him all the way out.
Me too.
Yeah,
That ain't gonna happen though.
But it's not going to happen.
It's not gonna happen.
And if he could just get his hands off the day to day,
Yeah.
and the player, like get that whole part, just leave him alone. And we need to change his approach to the cap too. And here's the problem: we all love Kai, and a lot of people want Kai, right? Is Kai on that same tree as his approach to the cap? Because he's supposedly a cap wizard. The cap is a disaster.
we don't know enough about Kai. We don't know
Correct.
if
We don't know
is
enough
he a
now.
cap wizard because his boss is fucking crazy, or
Because who was it?
is he
Ryan
both
Pace
a-
going to Chicago
Yeah.
and destroying Chicago
Yeah.
even worse.
Or is
And
he
then
both a
Fontenot
cap?
going
Fon-
there.
Or is he a cap wizard that knows something about personnel? Or is he a GM who's going to be like, look, I'm the GM, but I'm going to handle the cap. I'm bringing in an assistant GM or whatever title you want to give him. That's going to be the football guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just don't know.
We all
don't
like
know.
Kai. Like I think the three of us would agree.
Yeah.
And he's got good
I would
reviews being a
prefer
great-
us to go
great guy.
completely
Yeah.
out of the Saints. We
We-
need to get out of the same.
Yeah, I
30-year.
agree. But we like the little that we know about Kai.
So here's
we
the-
really don't know shit
So
about
here's the
him.
deal.
Exactly.
Like,
I don't
say-
think he probably doesn't know anything about football. I don't
Say
know what he's
Mickey
learning
moves
there.
up to the executive suite in the sky. Like, and we're
You want him
looking
to
at,
die?
No, that was a
Damn, bro.
euphemism. If we bring in someone from the outside, like who's making that hire? How? Because you're not going to feel good.
Lauscha.
But who's Lauscha going to consult? Lauscha's a accountant.
That's all Loomis was. Loomis has no real football background.
Lausch hasn't hired anybody in 30
Lauscha
years.
has not done football ever, except for
I
work for a
hear
football
you,
team.
but he is the person that Loomis reports to. And then Lauscha goes directly to Gale. So if anyone hires Loomis's replacement, it's
Yeah.
going to be Lauscha.
But Lauscha will have to consult with a football person. Lauscha is not football operations. I mean, maybe
I hear
maybe
you,
under-
but he's gonna hire the person.
he's going to be the one who signs the thing to. But I mean,
He's
like,
going to be the one that makes the decision.
I'm just saying, like, I don't want to have Loomis having any say on who we bring in. Because then
He will. I mean,
he will. That's just the way it
And
is.
I agree
Yeah.
with Corey, but I think that there's no way to avoid that. And just hopefully, when he does it, he does a full scale search and not just, hey, we've got people here. And I'm not saying we don't give him the job, but I would prefer to see a new vision, not in the tree.
Yeah,
completely different.
agree. We want to go away from the tree. But to be fair, Loomis did hire Peyton. So the precedent is there that he has hired.
the one good hire. he's
Right,
made.
so-
yeah,
I'm fine with him having input on the hire. I just, to Nick's point, get the fuck away from the pre-existing
hands
tree.
off. Yeah,
And then hands off.
go
whoever
do
it
whatever
is.
recreational
But
activities.
you've already
you wanna
got two
do,
logical replacements in house. You got Mueller and Ziegler.
You want Mueller back?
Wow.
You want Mueller to be the GM?
He's back. He's in our.
No, I mean,
building.
but to be the GM.
I didn't say I wanted him.
Okay.
I said they have two logical replacements. They're one of the new
would-
GMs in house.
You would consider Mueller to be the GM again.
I'm just telling you, the Saints have already brought them in, so they are probably looking at the three.
I think
for
this
the
is just a
four.
reference to
So
what I've been
so
saying.
I'm asking you, would you be okay if they said, "Look, we thought about it. We are bringing in Randy Mueller to be the GM again"?
I'll be honest with you. There's nobody in the NFL where I'm like, I want that person.
But,
as
I mean,
the
that's a
GM.
good point. We don't really
like
know.
it's not.
Yeah.
We just don't know.
They're not like players where we
That-
know all the.
that's
Like we didn't know
100%
anything
correct.
about Randy Mueller back
course
in
not. And-
'99, whatever year he got hired.
And look, this is
brought
nothing
us to
against,
playoffs.
nothing against Randy Mueller. I mean, I actually had a fantasy team named after him once.
No, but my point is, in house right
we were so
now,
excited
we
about it.
currently have Randy Mueller, Dave
Ireland.
Ziegler, Jeff Ireland, and Kai.
All of them.
There's 4 people who either have been GM or are in line to be GM. They're not going outside of that. I promise you.
I agree they're not.
They're going to pick out of that 4.
I think it's a mistake.
Okay.
I agree with you that we probably should pick
How many
somebody
years
else.
has Benson owned the Saints?
What, 80?
40? Is it 40?
Yeah.
40?
I should know this.
Close to 50. He's creeping up on 50.
It's in the 80.
It was early 80s. He
Early
got,
80s, yeah.
So-
Like 84, 85?
Yes, it's 40 years.
Maybe
Right,
85, yeah.
They've owned the Pels for how many years?
03.
Too many.
No, 03 is when the Pels were the Hornets. It would be, I don't even know.
When they came
12?
Yeah, 10, 12.
Yeah.
There's been one championship appearance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As far as an operationally functional sports franchises, they don't have a great track record. You subtract literally Drew Brees from 50 plus years of ownership, you don't even have an appearance. I think there's a big loyalty component to the way they do business that might not be the best for sports management.
Yeah.
Okay.
Agree.
It's just been going too long where they don't ever reboot.
There's a lot of...
But it's not going to change.
New Orleans blue bloody culture baked into
Yeah.
how they operate.
Yeah.
I think
You
so.
know,
And
I think people who grown up here understand that.
with that said, are you the next Drew
But-
Brees away from being legitimate? Maybe.
Absolutely.
And
if you
arguably-
got another Breeze in the building.
they're hard to
arguably
find.
Every franchise is a
Correct.
Drew Brees
That's
away
what I mean.
from, you know.
That is hard to find.
Back to the original point, though. We know how this is going to play out. If Loomis gets promoted to some figurehead role up in the front office, executive vice president, whatever the hell it may be, the next GM, I promise you, is coming from the room that we already have. It's coming from one of those 4.
Hate it. I mean, I'm not arguing with you on that. I can't.
And here's the thing.
I can't.
When they fire DA, someone from the tree's coming back again. They're going to dip back into the well.
I would bet money Aaron Glenn.
Yeah, and that'd be a terrible hire. No offense. There is nothing that shows you in Detroit's defense that tells you Aaron Glenn is ready for
But
that.
I am going to say this.
I like him.
The only upside of it would be I don't think the head coach has to be a great X's and O's guy. I think he needs to be what Corey loves to say a leader of men. A Dan Campbell, just that. You need to be that person that can get everybody else doing
the
it.
only guy.
And are you
Surround
sure he's
yourself
that?
with good people.
The
Are
only
you sure
guy
he's that?
Well, look, I'm gonna say if Aaron Glenn can have, I guess, the emotional impact on the culture and all of that, like Campbell's done there, and bring in some of these Ben Johnson people.
Yeah,
like grab the quarterback's coach and go, come on, you're coming with me. You're now the offensive coordinator. I wouldn't be upset with that. I would prefer to go outside of the building and outside of the tree, but there were worse things than that.
So there's 2 things. It's be a person that the team has an active, unwavering desire to play for.
Yeah.
And number 2, manage the clock, and don't waste challenges. Because a coach can lose you a game if he's fucking up on the sideline. I mean, he can blow timeouts.
DA's challenge record's pretty damn good. Actually.
DA's good at that. I'm not saying that doesn't win you the games by itself, but you can definitely put your team in a terrible position if you mismanage the clock. We've seen coaches do it time and time again. So, don't be the guy to fuck it up on the sideline. Make the right calls in game, but more importantly, be a guy who players will blindly run through a brick wall for.
That's what I'm getting at. That's what we're looking for. And look, Aaron Glenn, to Nick's point, his defenses haven't been great.
Yeah.
But at the same point, if he is maybe he's a better
and
head coach.
then look, hire badasses to be your coordinators. We've seen 30-year-olds be coordinators. You know, like
I want somebody that's been under Ben Johnson for the last 4 or 5 years.
I want someone who was born in the 90s.
Yeah. Yeah.
be
No,
honest.
agree.
Bring in some fresh blood.
I do. My first choice, Nick, would be, I agree with you, somebody completely no history with the Saints, no association with anybody with the Saints. Somebody like that's my first choice.
That's the pipe dream.
But if we have to pull someone who is somehow has been affiliated with us in the past, you can do worse than pulling Aaron Glenn if he pulls some good people, some good young, innovative minds.
Also, something that needs to be pointed out, though, these innovative young minds, right? They are useless without players.
Yeah.
We're seeing that.
Ben Johnson has a stable of elite players. Okay. Sam Laporta is a top 3 tight end. Amon-Ra St. Brown, amazing. Gibbs and Montgomery duo. The offensive line is loaded. The drafting has been off the charts.
They're elite.
Jameson Williams, if you can.
And they're complementary, too. You know,
Right.
you get boom and zoom recoming, the rebirth of, with Montgomery Gibbs, and then with Goff, it's like, look, is he a world beater as a quarterback by himself? No, but he's perfectly complementary to what you have on the rest of the offense.
I want that GM, the Detroit GM. That guy's awesome.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's go get him.
We can go get Ben Johnson. If we don't get the GM part right, it's not going to matter.
Right.
Look what happened in Miami with a couple injuries. It just falls apart. And McVay, when he doesn't have the guys, when they're hurt, they struggle.
Yeah.
You still have to get that part of the equation correct.
No, absolutely.
And
That's a good point.
With no change there, I think we're going to have trouble bouncing out of that.
Yeah, with a new coach, there has to be a new de facto GM with Loomis stepping up into the.
If I'm Ben Johnson,
I
make all the personnel decisions, or I'm not taking the job.
Look,
and you need him to say no problem, because not everyone's going to offer him that. But that's what we need, because Loomis isn't going to leave.
And look, I'm going to tell you right now, everyone thinks the Saints head coaching job obviously is not the most attractive because of the players and the cap situation and all that. Yeah, but the reality is, from an ownership standpoint, where would you rather go? Would you rather go to Carolina, where you're going to get fired after 1 year?
Someone will tell
the Saints are loyal to a fault.
Someone will tell
as an ownership.
A coaching candidate for the Saints will be told by somebody, not saying anybody of influence, but there will be a passing comment made that, hey, if you do well enough, she'll put you in her will.
Yeah.
And not only that, no matter how bad you do,
they won't be wrong.
No matter how bad you do, you ain't getting fired before your contract's up.
Yeah. Look how bad it had to be
before
they fired him.
I disagree with that narrative a little bit. I was telling Max that the other day. You're not unattractive. We're an unattractive team.
I don't think we are at all.
When you give coaches a chance to succeed, you are attractive. We have done that. As Peyton was here, he got more and more control. Everything is laid out. The salary cap, yes, it's bad. But let's say they end up with a high draft pick, automatically attractive.
Yeah.
Okay. And the only thing that's going to be more attractive is a team with a young star quarterback. That's why I said last year, like the Chargers job.
It's always the draw.
That Chargers job was extremely attractive, in my opinion. That's why they got, I think, the best possible candidate.
Yeah, like you don't leave the school you just won a national championship for anything.
But you got a 25-year-old stud.
But those jobs with 25-year-old stud QBs aren't really there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what Harbaugh said? He's like, and I'm going to use him half the time.
Yeah, I'll use him when I need him. I'm going to get the team rebooted. We'll get it going, and then we're going to use him when we need him, and he's going to make the play. And we'll see if it bears out. They got a winning record. They were terrible last year.
Yeah.
It's working. It's not perfect.
He's proven to be a smart head coach, because it's like you could say, oh, Harbaugh went there because of Herbert. Well, he doesn't done shit with Herbert. Herbert's not the same Herbert we know. But, like, he made the plays when he had to make them against the Saints. Yeah. Like, that's smart coaching. That's smart game planning.
With no true great skill players yet. Maybe McConkey turns into that. Maybe, we all know Quentin Johnson is, and Max said that 3 years ago.
He went to TCU.
They don't have a tight end. They got two often injured running backs.
Yeah.
He's doing pretty well for what he inherited, and we'll see where it goes. That's the only type of job I would say for sure is more attractive than here. Here is a loyal ownership group going to give you time to develop your plan.
The most loyal ownership group in the league. Hands down. Like you said, you're probably in the will if you win. Win a Super Bowl.
I wouldn't say the most. You got the Steelers. You got the Ravens. You've got...
Yeah, but the Steelers, their coach always produces. So it's not like they go through Tomlin's never had a losing season in 18 years.
I think the Broncos are kind of attractive, not from the loyalty standpoint, but, you're like your owners, John, like the guy calling the shots is John Elway. There's the mystique. Like, you're playing for... There's certain organizations
I thought Elway was gone.
I thought he was gone too. And they're new owners.
He's gone. It's new owners.
They're new owners. So they're
the new owners not...
Oh, wait. You're right. I'm not keeping up with the Broncos. Sorry, guys. But there's other...
the guy that owns Walmart?
The Walmart guy.
The Walmart. That's right. Yeah. But there's other teams that have, like, football guys in charge. But there's also other teams with football guys in charge that are train wrecks. Like...
Yeah.
I mean, the Dallas Cowboys...
No one would want to go there.
The only ones that want to go there are egomaniacs.
Yeah.
Right? Like... Yeah. So I think we're attractive for
but they've been loyal too,
the right kind of guy,
and he's struggled at times.
Because Jerry Jones is like the cheapest billionaire in the world, right? Like
well, he's a billionaire.
He knows he could go get a head coach tomorrow if he just rolled up the Brinks truck. I mean, don't tell me you couldn't.
He also overpays everyone by mistake.
Yeah, and look, to Nick's point though, I think the Steelers are probably the only competition. But then the reality is
Ravens pretty legit too.
Ravens too. But that's another franchise when they don't have losing seasons.
Well, he has a few, and they hung on and let him get through it. Now look at him. Then they got Lamar.
Two of the most attractive jobs in the NFL are held by Harbaugh's.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But I'd look to the original point. I think the Saints head coaching job is extremely attractive. especially if you add into the mix a top 5 pick this year. Now, granted, this is not a great year to be needing a quarterback if you're a top 5 pick because you're probably overdrafting these guys.
Carson Beck, baby.
He's fucking trash. I've been telling you this all season, and you're seeing it.
Don't tell Kirby Smart that. He's been going on a little like PR tour.
You think Kirby Smart pulls Beck aside and he's like, just keep chopping wood. Just keep chopping.
Well, Kirby doesn't talk like that.
No, he's got a fucking
he like,
horrible redneck accent.
Keep chopping wood.
Yeah. But anyway, to my original point, Carson Beck sucks. And he should not be drafted before the second round. I told you this for a year.
He's just not a Heisman candidate.
Look, if Bo Nix can get drafted where he did, Carson Beck can. I'll say that.
He's just having a rough year, Max. Come on, give him some
He's
space.
throwing too many picks for sure. But
you know what? Brock Bowers goes to the NFL. All of a sudden, Carson Beck can't complete shit. That's the difference.
When he wins that national
Bowers
title,
and Lad McConkey.
Yeah.
He lost his best guys.
And now he's lost. But anyway, so back to the original point. It's an attractive spot with a top 5 pick and the ownership group that's in place. So now I don't think we'll get the top 5 pick because the Saints will, as they always do,
I think the frustration
somehow get us out of the top 10.
The frustration with this team, historically and currently, is that things are never as they seem.
Yeah.
You know, mathematically, hashtag on paper, there's a lot of things that should make sense. Everything you just said makes perfect sense. But it never shakes out the way you think the equation should make it shake out. You'd be like, no, professor, this is the way the equation is. And he's like, nah, eraser here. I'm going to bend the chalkboard here. And it's just, we're not playing on the same
So if we didn't have this
anymore.
level of injuries, do you think this looks different or do you not today?
It looks different.
It looks way different.
Of course it looks different.
So it's, again,
I'm
we're
talking
back
about
to,
in terms of like coaching and ownership, the way all that.
yeah.
But we said this in the preview episode. We said literally every position on offense has no backup.
Your paper thin.
Every group sucks as a whole. And it's
except the secondary. They've been able to absorb that, it looks like.
Yeah, but especially on the offense.
Yeah, every position group in the offense. Defensive line is deep, but apparently not good. I think we all thought they would be way better, but it is deep.
Yeah, it's deep with mediocrity.
Linebackers, we thought Willie Gay would bring something. Man, looks good on special teams. Made 1 or 2 plays, but we got murdered with him in there.
Because I was so high on Willie Gay.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Now we didn't pay a lot, so that's okay.
You two screaming about the 3 linebacker set coming back. I'm like, it ain't happening.
I hate it, but it's like if
did for the run. They did exactly what we said.
Somehow, if you're a Saints
Didn't
free
work,
agent and they give you the jersey number 6, I'm like, I'm all in. You know.
I mean, Morstead, I understand, but these other two,
that's the way it shook out. I was high on Willie May. I mean, not Willie.
Willie Mays.
Marcus May.
There we go.
May and Gay. Maybe your last name has to, end in an AY. I don't know. But yeah, but we had a loss, I guess. Right?
Well, let me ask you this: so we are essentially at the midpoint of the season. We're 2-6.
Pretty close, yeah.
So how do you
2 more games than a
feel?
bye.
How do you feel about your preseason record prediction?
I
feel
feel
like we
great
can still get there
because we're only going to lose 1 more game, and we're going to go 10-7, just like I predicted.
Okay. What did you have? 9?
9. Do I think we could get to 9 with no injuries? Yes. Do I think we will? No. But I also think it's because of the injuries. I think we were going to get to double-digit wins without losing that many key players. We could have dealt with injuries to, say, Shaheed or Cedric Wilson or some those type. When you lose Olave essentially for 2 games, Carr for 3 games, McCoy for 8 games, Patrick, Ruiz. When you lose those people where we could not afford to lose it.
Hold on, this is funny because none of us would have said this before the season, but you just said when you lose Patrick.
Yeah.
When you lose Ruiz.
Well, it was a start.
Well, Ruiz, but the one we did say, which I think
we said we couldn't lose
besides,
Ruiz.
Oh, no, I know. It's just funny to hear you say Patrick. It's one of those
besides losing your starting quarterback in the year when you have a new offensive coordinator as the most important, that's obviously the most impactful injury. The next one down is the one we unfortunately prognosticated with McCoy.
Right.
We said if we lose him, holy shit.
Yeah.
And
then you lose the
it
two
happened.
guards on top of it. Like,
And that then double down.
It's over.
Shaheed, the Shaheed one hurts too,
can't-
man.
well,
Because
Shaheed-
that dude can get deep.
Shaheed hurts, but it's not something
think you can
can't-
scheme
You can
around that.
overcome it. You
Yeah.
can overcome that.
We don't
you know?
have another decent receiver. I don't know.
I hear you, but it's
But you-
okay.
but you have
Olave's
a-
still getting over.
You have a run first West Coast offense. Like you can come over. You can get over the
it
fact
was
that
it was a two receiver game. Now we're down to one.
I agree.
No one else has done a damn thing.
But I think they could have overcome that. I don't think you
They
can
could have,
overcome.
but I think the Shaheed injury.
How many
really
times
hurts.
did we go deep after McCoy and the guards went down? You know,
A couple of times. What's his name kept dropping him.
successfully.
No, he kept dropping him.
What's his name?
Shaheed.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. Shaheed,
He dropped him, yeah. But
Yeah.
Shaheed had 2 really good games and
Y'all have
pretty
a
much
different-
hurt us the rest
Y'all
of
also
the
have
time.
a
And now
different-
he's out.
Definition.
I just
of
think that
drop.
injury does hurt more than you can't lump him with Cedric Wilson. Like if that guy gets hurt,
In priority, I'd go. Carr's the most impactful than McCoy.
absolutely. Carr and then McCoy. Agree with that. I agree with that.
yeah.
I'm just saying I think you could have afforded to lose a Shaheed down.
Yes,
I don't think you could afford to lose those players better than Shaheed because of how thin we are.
I'm with.
You
Nick
can't
on that.
lose Olave. I think you could have lost Shaheed and been okay. You can't lose AK, especially because Kendrick can't play. You can't lose Carr, no doubt about it. You can't lose McCoy, Fuaga. We can't lose any of those level players because we just don't have anyone to come play behind them.
To me, the big three you could not lose: Carr, McCoy, Kamara.
Yeah.
Everybody else you could scheme around to an
Dude,
extent. To an extent.
If Kamara is the only one who's like, even the games we've been in but didn't win, like I think Kamara is one of the only things that has kind of like kept any offensive
Yeah.
ability on the board.
I think you could even scheme around Olave
Just because of
out.
the yak yards,
I
like
think
the
it's
third
tough.
down. The
No, I think it's tough, but I think he's on a level below those top three as far as losing them.
Yeah, but he's our only guy in the pass game that is really above average.
well, put it this way, just dependable.
He gets open.
Yeah, right, right. Like,
But I think with this offense, I think they could have figured it out.
Maybe.
If the offensive linemen are there, like if you don't lose the offensive lineman, you got Carr, you got Kamara. I think they could have figured out the.
Then you had
thing.
Taysom into the equation, missing him 3-4 games.
That
Then you had,
hurts.
Taysom's big.
there's so many injuries. So what you were saying, how does the rest of the year look? I think this team is way better than 2-6 when healthy,
they definitely are,
and
I
they're
mean,
about
yeah.
to be healthy. McCoy will be back in 2 weeks, correct?
After the bye.
Was it an 8-week diagnosis?
Yeah. So you've got everyone back except Shaheed and McCoy now, right?
So
With
we've
Carr
got-
coming back,
Yeah, we got Panthers.
and you got the Panthers.
Jameis's Browns.
Yeah,
Unwavering faith.
yeah.
You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow.
He missed
gotta play
it.
for
He
that
threw it
decal on your helmet.
straight
I
in
will
Kyle
say this.
Hamilton's
I will
hands,
say
and he
this.
dropped it.
It's gonna be. I will root against the Browns, obviously, but Jameis has been on fire this week with his quotes.
You playing for the decal on the side of your helmet?
Oh, wait,
we don't have one. Okay.
I mean, he's been
the color.
he has been on fire. It's crazy.
He's the funniest. He's the most
Like,
unintentionally funny motherfucker in the NFL, dude.
Like the PGA Tours in the offseason, I'm used to watching Amanda Balionis doing her post-round interviews with the golfers, and there she is interviewing Jameis, and she asked like 3 different questions and the same answer.
I don't know how they keep a straight face.
Unwavering faith. And it was the 3, my brother and Derek, the 2 not Discord guys. Every response to any text message Casey gives us is like unwavering faith. And
Did you actually watch the end of that game though?
I watched the highlights, but it was pretty nuts.
He threw one
Oh, it should have been
directly into his
over.
hands.
It was the most Jameis ending
so
ever.
Jameis, like so
He
Jameis.
put it in God's hands.
That's right.
That's why I like the Browns game is
You see him, he's like, oh.
the Browns game is literally a coin flip. I mean,
We'll see.
We know how to handle Jameis. We know his tendencies, but like
I'm gonna say if we're healthy, we're gonna beat them.
when the guy just puts it on God, like anything could happen in that game.
Yep, no doubt.
How bad's Lattimore's injury? I didn't get.
We don't know, Hammy.
Yeah, no, same hammy though, right? For
I think
him.
so, yeah.
Opposite
It's the
for
same one for
Kendrick.
him and a
Opposite
different
for
one
him.
for
I'll say this:
Kendrick.
y'all might not make a big thing about this with Lattimore, but on the we were talking about the Alante missed tackle, Lad McConkey touchdown earlier. If you rewatch the replay, maybe this is part of the team owners meeting. I'm not saying that that Lattimore is one of the bad guys that maybe they're trying to call out, but if you watch his progression on that play, and yeah, this is a tangent, I'll acknowledge that. He slows up. Like, you watch defensive drills or you watch like practice.
So you're saying he's dogging it?
It looked like he was dogging it on that play. Like he saw the other guy catch the ball, and he saw that the ball was not coming to his receiver, and he just kind of pulled off the gas. He stopped running. If you watch any, and granted it's probably more popular in high school and college, but like when the ball goes one way, all 11 guys have to sprint to the ball. Like that's defense 101. And you could see he saw where the ball was going, but it wasn't to his guy, so he stopped running. Then Ladd catches it. Then Ladd gets away from McConkey. Then Marshawn starts sprinting.
Ladd got away from himself?
That's impressive.
Ladd got away from McConkey. That's how fast he was. He got away from Alante. And at the end, Marshawn was like 5 yards behind him when Ladd crossed the goal line. I'm just like, if he was sprinting the whole time, it was interesting. I'm just curious to see if there's more effort out of
a little bit of smoke.
It's a little smoke.
Okay.
There's something there. I mean, if you rewatch it,
don't say that to him.
He obviously pulled off once he saw the ball was going his direction, but the play wasn't over, and it was just interesting.
Play to the
play
whistle,
should have been over,
right?
Yeah,
there you go.
Play should have been over.
Should have been, but you're a football player. Sprint to the ball until it's over.
But I mean, I'm just gonna say
that's my
no. I don't agree.
Football coach.
But
of course you don't, because Ladd can do no wrong in your book.
I mean, it's just a reach. It's just
a spoiled millionaire that's playing football, Nick.
I love it.
The guy's played out of his mind this year, so I'm just not going to say that.
He can take a play off?
No, but maybe he did. Maybe he just stopped for a second, assuming
to look at
you're going to tackle the guy right in front of you. Maybe just it wasn't a lack of effort.
Hey, maybe he was just tired, like Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
He took a break during the play as opposed to after the play.
I'm not taking any credit away from how well he has played. It's just something I noticed.
I'm just saying I don't think there's anything to that whatsoever. Even if he did make a mistake and not hustle, there's nothing to it.
I'm starting a whole conspiracy about it.
Hashtag the what are we?
The I don't even.
The conspiracy.
The lat something.
How about the conspiracy? Keep it in theme with other hashtags. Or do you need a B one to go after the failed A one?
I don't even know.
Yeah.
The dog.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Exactly. I don't know. You guys have any other thoughts on this game? I think we pretty much
definitely not on the game. I mean, I think we covered the game and then like the general state of affairs of the team, which was very necessary. I mean, because like.
But wait, Max didn't answer that though, Corey.
What's that?
Didn't answer what
for the rest of the season.
Oh, I didn't. That's right. I feel like the 7-10 prediction that I made is probably the ceiling, in my opinion. I will have a firm answer for you after this weekend, because I'm gonna tell you right now.
No, right now.
If they lose this game against the Panthers,
we'll let you amend after the weekend. Give us an answer now.
Okay, right now I think 7's the ceiling.
Okay, we'll let you amend.
Okay, but I'm gonna tell you right now, if they lose against the Panthers,
7 would be 5-4, finishing up 5-4.
They're not winning 4 games. No, I said that's the ceiling. I don't think it's gonna happen.
No, if they don't win,
so what do you think was gonna happen?
I think 6. I feel like 6. They're gonna somehow get to 6.
Yeah, if they lose this weekend, not only the wheels.
So I said 6.
Hold on.
The axles, the gears, like the whole car is disintegrating.
You and I had this talk offline. So let me look at this.
I think you came up with 7, and I said
no. I don't think I'd say. I didn't get 7. I didn't get to 7. I think Panthers. I think we win. Atlanta, I said, was 50-50. Right now, I would lean to Atlanta winning. Browns. Yeah. I think the Browns are going to get 4 solid weeks out of Jameis. This would be his 4th game.
Jameis is going to play against us.
Oh, no, I know he's going to play against us, but I think the wheels fall off of the Jameis experience at some point.
Okay.
After 4 games, 4-ish.
It's still such.
So he's either going to light us the fuck up,
or we're going to beat him by 30.
Or we're going to crush him.
Might be single-handedly the most unpredictable player in NFL history.
Rams, given that they are 2 getting healthy, and Puka and Cup are both back, I think the Rams are winning. Giants.
You don't still have your card scheduled?
It's in the car. I would say right now I would pick us to beat the Giants. Yeah. Commanders, I'm absolutely picking the Commanders to beat us.
Need the card, dude.
The Packers, I think the Packers is at Green Bay in late December. I'd pick the Packers. Raiders, I would pick us.
You would?
Against the Raiders?
Quarterback issues, I guess.
Yeah, they're terrible. Unless Brock goes bananas.
They beat somebody decent this year, I thought.
So what did I say? Tampa.
They almost beat the Chiefs.
Yeah. But there's earlier. But anyway.
So I gave us Carolina.
Ravens, I think.
I gave us Carolina. I gave us the Giants. I gave us the Raiders. That puts us at 5. And I think we win another one, probably Tampa. So I think we get to 6.
We'll win 6. One we're not predicted to win.
We're going to win one.
We always do down the stretch.
That's what I'm saying. I'm basing this on getting the people back and them staying back. If
I am too.
Okay.
But
so
I'm saying
in
6.
that scenario, I think this is where I got to more than you. I think we end up splitting with the Bucks and Falcons, which means that we win them both. Panthers, Browns, Giants. Then
I'm not there on the
and
Browns.
Raiders. So that's how I got to 6. Now, that's a big leap. I'm not saying we're definitely going to win Atlanta and Tampa, but I just go off of I just think we're going to split. So we're going to beat. I do think we beat Tampa if they don't have those receivers.
Yeah.
Atlanta's a much tougher game. We'll see, but that's how I got to 8. Just so you know. Could we beat the Rams? I think if we're healthy, we could beat the Rams at home.
We can beat anyone.
We could beat the Commanders at home, I believe.
I don't see that.
And I love them. They lost this week. They got a Hail Mary. That's fantastic. They've had very much trouble in the red zone. There's a case to be made. That game will be like a pick'em game, most likely.
Yeah, but what does our defense struggle against when they're healthy? Traditionally,
I agree.
Get us out.
And I told you we're going to lose that game.
Yeah.
Could I see a scenario of us winning that game?
Oh,
yes.
Absolutely. I mean, I can see a scenario where we could win any of the games.
The only way we definitely win the Commanders game is if the offense is on fire and just jumps out to a huge lead to where
and you force them to pass,
and they can't eat the clock. But I as of this date, I don't know if I could pick us against the Falcons or the Bucks. But the thing is,
I think we go 4-5 the rest.
When I look at this schedule, the biggest thing, it's funny because week 1 we called it a must-win. Like you have to start out with a win against the Panthers. Ironically, we got the Panthers again,
and it's must-win.
And it's because here's the other thing. Here's the benefit. Okay, you get a win, you're at 3-6 as of November 3rd. Okay, on the calendar. The next time you don't play in the Dome is December 8th.
Right.
You got 2 home games, a bye, and a home game.
Yeah.
Right? So, if you ever wanted an opportunity to kind of reset things, get things on the right track.
It's set up for them to do it.
We're right in the same kind of mindset that we were saying we were
Let me ask you this.
in week 1.
Is there anyone on our schedule that you think is challenging for a Super Bowl this year?
On the remaining schedule?
No.
Yeah, there's not one team.
Not at all.
There's no team you think is winning the Super Bowl on this schedule.
Absolutely not. No. You're right. That's a good point.
So, I agree some are better than us, 100%. I agree with Max.
Like, the Commanders could make a run if
the Commanders are making the playoffs.
If it's Jaden Daniels,
they're making the playoffs for sure.
Like, they can make a run, but they're not. You can't.
That's not a Super Bowl team. The defense isn't good enough.
At best, you have a team that can make a run.
Packers inconsistent, good team, not a great team.
And then Love just got hurt.
We've seen Atlanta and the Bucks enough to know they're not great teams. They're not contenders.
The Rams are getting healthy, but they're not a Super Bowl contender.
No. These are all those teams are an injury away to same just like us. They all are.
It's a big group of mid.
Yeah, but to be fair, the previous 8 games, the only team in that list that I would say is a bona fide Super Bowl contender is the Chiefs. There's nobody else on there.
Right.
None of them. You look at who else on there would you?
When we were healthy, we only played 2 teams.
No, I agree. I'm looking at the opponents.
At the time,
none of them are Super Bowl.
Eagles,
I wouldn't pick any.
Philly's a Super Bowl contender.
Close.
In the
They're
NFC.
close.
In the NFC, yes, they are.
They're a conference championship.
They're not winning it. I don't see any world that they win it. They don't look that great.
But either way, we could call the whole rest of the schedule a big bucket of
that
mid.
team is better than these other teams, is what I'm saying. They are better than the rest of everyone else.
Yeah, they're better.
Whatever kind of adjective we want to put on the rest of the teams on our schedule, we're below that. At least right now. Now, when healthy, we're not.
We also have the 32nd ranked schedule the rest of the way. Mm-hmm. The worst schedule in the league. So
it hasn't stopped our underachieving in the past.
I agree. But this season, I believe you have to put some credence to the fact that when we had our people, it looked completely different than when we did not have our people.
Right. Agree.
Now, if we stay injured, it's over. We all know that. We've seen it. We've got 6 weeks of proof. It's over. If everyone gets healthy and plays the last half of the season healthy, what does that mean? How good could it be or not be? I don't know. It looked pretty damn awesome for 2 weeks.
But you're not getting a Debo. You're not getting Shaheed.
I don't think we need a Debo.
No, we don't know Lattimore's status.
Again, if he's out, and I'm just talking about the people that we know we're getting back here in the next couple of weeks. If those people play, I think all of these games are super competitive.
I think every game's going to be competitive. I'll go with you on that. I agree with that.
And if the ball bounces our way, whatever.
Yeah.
Could they win 6 games? Yeah. Could they win 3? Yeah.
I don't think we have any more blowouts where we get our asses kicked like we did in those 2 games.
But put it this way, I think
I do agree all the games will be closer.
our success the rest of the way out is contingent on offensive production, because I think we've seen that the defense, even in a good game, is capable of allowing 26 points when the offense is not doing well. Okay, right? Like, that's a defense in a good game. The defense in the bad game is just a whole different story. Like, you're not even talking about competitiveness if we play like we did against the Broncos. But we need to start seeing some production on offense, because if we don't, then forget it.
Okay, write down these predictions, though. I'm going with 6 and 11. You said 8.
Okay, mid.
You say you're going 8 and 9?
See, I'm going 8 win.
Or so 8 and 9.
Max is saying 6 and 11.
Right.
We'll add this into our picks.
We're redoing the schedule now?
No,
Well,
we're just
no,
a
I mean,
mid-year
that's-
check-in. A mid-year check-in.
A mid-year
pick.
check, yeah.
So I had 10 and 7. I don't think that's happening.
No, but what are you predicting now?
Yeah, this is your reboot.
This is your not a mulligan, because obviously both of them are going to be on record, but what if you had to pick right now?
I said 9, right? So I'm dropping a win. Max is dropping a win. You said 7 and 10, right, Max? Beginning of the season.
I might be less. I might be more pessimistic than y'all. Give me.
Max is saying they go 4 and 5 the rest of the way. I'm
Yes.
saying they go 6 and 3.
Yeah, I'm in 4 and 5 rest of the way.
So you're saying 6 and 11 as well?
6 and 11.
What are you, Nick?
He's going 8 and 9.
Going 8 and 9.
What are you the rest of the way?
Do the math, Corey.
6 and
Too hard.
6 and 3.
6 and 3.
Yeah.
Rest of the way. All right. Yeah,
Dude, Corey, you should just split the difference here. You might get a win out of it.
I was about to say no. That's why I was asking, because Max and I are tied.
So wait, hold on. So we're awarding, I guess, no, the initial preseason prediction, that should be worth more.
Yeah, it should be.
That should be worth like 5 points or something.
Actually, that's why I was asking what Max's was and what the math showed out. 4 and 5. I'm gonna go. We go 3 and 6 rest of the way.
Ooh.
Wow.
5 and 12.
Sorry,
so
guys.
Corey says we're getting that high draft pick for the new coach.
I don't see. I know.
Max says we just miss it, and I say we end up exactly where we always do. In the
I know it's a big bucket of mid, but I think
Wait a minute. This is another one. What pick do we get? Let's write that one down. I say we get the 10th pick because we get the 11th pick
well,
because
that's
we cannot
should
have
get more
a top
points.
10 pick.
That's like a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
It's a complete crapshoot.
Put me down for 11.
I'm going in our normal spot, 14.
12, 14.
It's like we own that area.
Yeah, we
draft.
do.
May as well like
Corey, what spot?
start
What are we
collecting
picking?
royalties. 5.
Okay.
5th pick. Yeah.
So these
Because
will all get
three-
factored in.
If I go 3 and 6 from here on out, that's.
Let me be clear. I think we're going to win a lot of games going through. That's what I'm picking. I wish we wouldn't.
So how are we going
Because
to weigh
there's
this?
no point to.
I'm the opposite.
we can just say it's
'cause I
just for
don't-
fun.
'cause I don't care about, like-
we'll keep this as its own thing, and then
Okay.
we'll just.
'Cause until
but
we
we've written
have-
everything down, and we'll review it all.
See,
at the
I'm
end
the
of
opposite
season.
of you in terms of what I want, because until we have a complete change in regime, I don't trust us to pick the right number 5.
We won't.
I don't trust us to pick the right number 1 pick. So give us the 14. It's where we deserve to be in terms of who we draft. We don't draft well
I think we
you know?
drafted.
overall. I mean,
We don't. No, I'm 100%
like
your corner.
Olave,
We do not draft well.
We went over this. Like, Olave was a good pick. We gave up too much to get him. Penning was maybe a decent pick. Gave up too much to get him.
Just get the first pick and take Travis Hunter.
Fuaga looked to be a good pick. We didn't give anything up to get him. But
I like
that's
that's what I was going to say. This draft is terrible, but Fuaga.
But it's almost
Fuaga
like
hit.
did we
And if
just,
Bub hits?
But did we not fuck that one up because we couldn't fuck it up considering how many tackles there were available and it was the biggest position in need? It was like, what else were we going to do?
Yeah, well, Brock, but we didn't have the chance. So that's
Right. Or we were literally like, what else would we have done?
So I don't know.
Anyway.
We'll leave it at that. But
Yeah, and we'll just
I
be
I
a fun
think
review episode at the end of the season.
yeah,
Post-mortem.
I'm looking forward to the next episode because
We'll know a lot.
finally there's some light maybe at the end of the tunnel with the people coming back.
And with that,
Should be telling.
I think we talked long enough. You want to go ahead and wrap this one up?
I got at least 4 or 5 more tangents in me if you want to.
Nah,
You good?
I think we're good.
He's
All
maxed,
right.
baby. Maxed out.
Yeah, wrap us up.
Well, cool. I think we'll go ahead and wrap us up, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode, which will be the Panthers preview episode.
Can't wait.
Until then, thank you for listening to another episode of the 28-3 podcast. Who dat?
Who dat?
What a comeback!